Wouldn't this be nice? Out here in the middle of the ocean, all by yourself. Got a great view of the city. You got your beach, well, not really a beach house, your island house, island property over here. Wouldn't this be pretty cool? I mean, I don't know what you guys, but I definitely think it would. And in this video, I want to show you guys, I guess, maybe what it would look like if Rockstar went with some sort of, if they ever did do some sort of naval DLC or sea DLC that introduced islands to the game. Because like one of the main parts I think that a lot of us have is take a look at the actual map. Like it's just one big island. Unlike every other GTA game where it was like multiple islands and there was a decent amount of water activity and things you could do in the water. Like there's a decent amount of water space, I guess you could say. Where with this, with Los Santos, we obviously only have the lake up here and then these two rivers. And then, I mean, I guess you could say you have the ocean, but there's not a whole lot to do around. I mean, the only parts that are kind of cool is this right-hand side of the map, but you rarely ever go over here because there's not anything to do on this right-hand side of the map. So what I've been saying, now, I don't know if the gameplay aspect of a naval DLC, I don't know how different that would be from gun running or Smuggler's Run. But as far as like what they could add, they have a ton of options. And for the people, and maybe even Rockstar themselves, like, dude, this is not realistic. They're not just going to add islands to the game. That's the sort of weakest excuse I think you could put up, because Rockstar have added the bunkers to random places. I mean, at the beginning in some missions, it says we're in 2013, yet in some of the newer missions, we're in 2018 now. And we have flying jetpacks. We have all kind of crazy stuff. So like that, the whole realism part kind of goes out the window. Now the only problem, and they could solve this by putting these islands a little bit further out in the sea, is the yachts. Obviously we're in single player here, so there are none. But you would have the yachts that people own, and they obviously couldn't put these islands where those yachts spawn. But the yachts are kind of closer to, like the yachts are up here. Right? They're kind of closer to the shoreline. These islands are further out. So taking a look at this one, let's go ahead and fly up real quick so you can get a little overview. So this is just a pretty small, simple island. You have your own helipad, right? You have your own little island house. But this looks pretty legit. Like, that doesn't look like anything modded, so to speak. Like, from a distance, that looks pretty legit. Imagine having little islands like this scattered throughout the ocean. Now, whether they would be houses or properties for this hypothetical new business, I guess that's another thing you have to think of. But this one, for an example, this mod right here is a house. Houses are a little bit more difficult just because if multiple people own the same house, well, then that becomes an issue because this is kind of an open courtyard-esque house, and I don't actually know where the entrance is. I guess this is kind of an entrance, but like that's one of the issues you would have. There's no real place to put that blue marker to go inside, so people would have the option of buying the same house. I think that's kind of why we haven't seen mansions or any of those bigger houses over there yet in Vinewood, because they have the yards and that just makes things complicated. Not saying that it can't be done. I don't think many people would care, but I guess that's maybe why Rockstar haven't done anything yet. But what's sort of cool about this and some cool things that they could add. So obviously we have the helipad here, and this would have maybe a little blue dot here, and you could spawn some of your Pegasus vehicles or some of your aircraft from your hangars. Obviously not like big things, but small helicopters, the Hydra, for instance, could work. Now, despite this island house having cars, you couldn't really have cars out here because, I mean, let's be honest, unless you brought it on a cargo bob, because there's just not really a good way to transport cars unless they added one of those hoverboat transport vehicles. You know, that would be cool, right? That'd be a nice little feature. You could bring your own cars to your island from the shore and back and forth. But taking a look at this actual property, I mean, I think this is a really well done property. We're not going to take a look at everything just because there's a lot. But I mean, the inside, the interiors are actually really well done for a mod. There probably wouldn't be NPCs in online, so subtract them. But I mean, I guess that's the house part over here. And then this may be the garage, I'm guessing, or maybe this is an extension of the house. But this is kind of like just a basic example of what an island could look like. And let's be honest, if Rockstar ever did add something like this to the game, I think they do pretty well because we haven't received new properties. I mean, new like houses in a couple of years. Everything we keep getting is just business properties. We haven't gotten anything like this, like a home property. And I mean, if people paid, or if people are willing to pay for mansions, how much are people willing to pay for a freaking house on a private island? You know, I would be willing to pay a couple million just to be able to like spawn over here. Maybe you could even have your yacht, like if it worked out, your yacht would be relatively close. Maybe there could be some sort of dock to that you could add on, some add-on purchase that could store some boats or something. I think just being able to get away from all the craziness that's over there in the city would make this such an awesome idea. And again, this one is just right here by the city, right? You could have, like the yachts, areas all across, or, you know, all around the island. And even over here on the right-hand side, there are already some islands that already exist. Now, those are a little bit closer to shore, but I think it could still work. And what I want to do now is show you guys some other examples. And these are just two other mods. Now, these are just some pictures because I actually couldn't get them to install properly. But I thought they were pretty cool just to show you guys another example. So this one is just, it's called the Caribbean Island. I'll leave a link to these mods in the description. This one has more foliage and stuff, right? This one has like an EMB. That's why the colors look a little weird. But it also has like a little house, little cabin house. But they have little pockets of water, right? Little, or I guess kind of big. Is that a palm tree? Maybe. But you can see you still have the helipad. This one's a bigger island. But you get an idea of what islands added to Los Santos could look like. And this is a good view. This one's kind of in that same location where you have the city off in the distance. But something like this would be pretty cool, right? And this one's a bigger example. You could also go the route of snowy islands. Like if you wanted to do something, I don't know if maybe this would work necessarily. It's a cool idea though. This one is, I think, loosely based off like North Yankton. But yeah, this is a snowy island. This one's actually a town. Like as we go through, you can see there's like a population in this little town here. But it's just another example of what they could do with islands. This could be like a little mini map expansion for all the people who want a map expansion, but I don't think it would require a whole ton of work, at least compared to a regular map expansion. But let me know in the comment section, you can see this one's way far off, what you guys think about this. Would you be interested in getting islands with personal properties? How do you think Rockstar could maybe add them to the game? And how much are you willing to spend for something like this? I mean, a beachfront, I'm willing to spend some money for it, but an island front, oh man, take all my money, Rockstar. So anyway, thank you all for watching. Please drop the video a like if you did enjoy, subscribe for more GTA content in the future. And as always, I will see you guys in the next one.